Hello and welcome back. We are going to be continuing on right where we left off with immersive hold borders. Manual looks good. Next up, the effects section. Nope, I skipped one. Hang on. It wouldn't have really mattered if I had installed them slightly out of order because you can always move them around on this side, but just for the sake of the guide, I'm going to continue on. Alternate summoning visuals. Activate those. Now we're on to deadly spell impacts. As the faux mod, we want default and install. It does not need to be extracted. It does need to be converted to, or flagged as an ESL. So we want SSE edit, run, select none, that one, and OK. Background loader finished, so we can go ahead and edit, yes, ESL, OK. Close and confirm. Moving on, we have the enhanced blood textures with a faux mod. I can read that, that's fine. Let's see. We want enhanced blood textures main. It's already selected. We want immersive creatures. We want short. We want none. And we want none. Okay. Next. We want high res default color. Already selected. And blurry screen we want none. Lastly, we want all blood textures optional and none. Install. Has a BSA, does not need to be extracted. Has an INI that needs to be edited though. Nope, it doesn't have an INI, we have to edit the regular INIs. Skyrim.ini, we want to find display, and we want F decal lifetime. Okay, we'll change it from 300 to 256. Next, we want to save and go to skyrimprefs.ini. Looking for display again. We want I max decals per frame. Okay, we change that from 120 to 350. And we want the decals section. B decals on skin geometry equals 1. That line is not there at all, so let's go ahead and copy. Paste. There we go. Alright, save. Close that. Next up we have the improved weapons impact effects. Set the data, looks good. Alright, that's it for the effects section. On to Arthmore Villages. Looks good. No for extracting. Next up we have Dawnstar. Looks good. No for extracting. Next up we have the Dawn Star No Snow Under the Roof patch. Looks good. Activate those. Next up we have Dragon Bridge. Looks good. No to extract. Next up we have Hillarchen Creek. Looks good. No for extracting. And we have a No Snow Under the Roof patch. Looks good. Next up, Iverstead. Looks good. No for extracting. Garthwasten. Looks good. No for extracting. Kelbnar. Looks good. No for extracting. Kynes Grove. Looks good. No for extracting. Rorikstead. Looks good. No for extracting. Shore Stone. Looks good. No for extracting. Soljan's Sinkhole. Looks good. No for extracting. Fall of Granite Hill. Looks good. No for extracting. Whistling Mine. Looks good. No for extracting. Whistling Mine patch. I seem to have missed it, so we'll do it live. Not sure how I missed that. Alright, looks good. Next up we have Oakwood. Looks good. No for extracting, but we do need to change it to an ESL, so let's go ahead and activate those. Run the SSE edit. Select none, and we are looking for Oakwood. Background loader finished. Record flags, edit, yes, ESL, and OK. Alright, close that. Looks good. Sure I'm not missing any other special instructions. Alright, that is it for Arthmore Villages. On to the expanded cities, towns, and villages. First up, Books of Skyrim. Looks good. No for extracting. Farmhouse Chimneys has a faux mod. It's an easy to read one, so we're good there. Let's see, alternate topper, none. We want Fallscar and Wormstooth, already selected, none. Or next, rather. We want Helgen Reborn, it's already selected. And we want Fall of Granite Hill, also already selected. So, install. Okay. Next up, we have Expanded Towns and Cities. Has a faux mod with lots of options. Okay, given that there are so many options, I am going to go ahead and expand it just to make sure I don't miss anything. Alright, we want the ESM with MCM, and we want modular. Next, we want only Riverwood on this page. Next, we want Noble Skyrim. We want Better Dynamic Snow. We want lanterns and sign chains. Next, we want none, 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 none. Alright. Basically, the only thing we want is RS Children Overhaul Riverwood. Okay, so that's the only one we want. Now let's just go back through and make sure nothing was automatically selected that we would need to uncheck. Nope, nothing is automatically checked, so install. And we do want to extract this BSA, so yes. And let's move these back to where it was. Okay, activate that. Next up we have Windhelm Lighthouse. And looks good. We have some files to remove, so we need to go to texture, actor, character, face gen, face tint, ESP, and we're removing all of the .tga files. There's only a few of them, so we don't need to go to Windows Explorer like we did last time. So let's just delete those 3 files. Yes. And close that. Next up we have Trivial Smelters of Skyrim. It's another one. Might as well go ahead back to full screen for that one, because sometimes the devil is in the details and I don't want to miss anything. So Smelters of Skyrim. And we'll pull up the FOMod. Alright, next page we want modular. Next page we want Falkreath, Riften, and Solitude, but not Riverwood. We want all 3 of these. Acknowledged and finished. Okay. There's a FOMod on the next mod, so let's go ahead and do that one before we switch it back to split screen. Okay. Mod description, special edition, SPEM signs, medium. Let's see. Mixed lanterns recommended, and light. Next. Compatibility patches, we only want Falskar, Helgen Reborn. This means we need to uncheck Books of Skyrim since it was checked automatically. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and see Falskar, Helgen Reborn. No snow under the roof. So uncheck that. Uncheck that. Leave Shore Stone. Okay. Let's just double check that there wasn't any more I'm missing. Alright. There we go. And install. Alright. Let's go ahead and go back to split screen. Alright, it can be flagged as an ESL, so we need to first activate it. And then go to SSE Edit. Select None. And we want Blowing in the Wind. Nope, we want the patch, not the main file. So, check that, check that. Background loader finished. Record flag. I think I double clicked on it by mistake. Not sure what that would have done, but let's edit. Yes. It probably would have done the same thing, but it threw me off, so let's just do it the way we know to do it. SL. Alright, close that. Yes. Alright, moving on. We have Ancient Dwemer Metal. Set data. Looks good. Next we have Ancient Automatons from the same mod, which means that we need to change the name. Manual. Set data. Looks good. Alright, next up we have Bellyaches HD Dragon Replacer Pack. Looks good. Alright, looks like I may be running out of mods. Well, the ones downloaded anyway. Alright. Chapper's Demonic Alduin Mashup. Set data. Looks good. Next up, Dragon Priest. Has a faux mod, but it only has the one option, so it shouldn't be too bad. We want the full highly suggested. Install. Next we have Draugr. Again, faux mod is a single option, so no issues there. Next up we have Falmer. Install. I'm not really sure what the point of a mod that has a faux mod but no options. I thought the point of a faux mod was to give you options during install. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments below. Next up we have Giant. Install. Next up we have Hagraven. Install. Next up, Happy Horker. Set data. Looks good. Followed by HD Horkers. Wait, did I? Yeah, I almost reinstalled one of the mods. Scroll back up so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, HD Horker. That's the one we want. Set data. Looks good. And go ahead and activate the ones that we've been neglecting and open up HD Horker, go to File Tree, and we want to delete the Textures folder. Yes. That's so that we can use the meshes from HD Horker, but the texture from Happy Horker. Alright, moving on. High-res Dartwing Dragonfly texture. Set data. Oops, set data twice. Looks good. Alright, next up, Mammoth. Back to the one option faux mod. Install. Next up, Rustic Daedra. I must have downloaded them out of order. Not a big deal though. Set data, looks good. Here we have special instructions, file tree. We're looking for textures, effects, and we want FX Fire Scroll Tile 02 and Vapor Tile 01. Delete those two. Yes. Close. Next up we have Rustic Deathhound and Gargoyle Special Edition. Manual. Set data. Okay. And go to File Tree. We're looking for Textures, DLC 1, and Dungeons. We want the entire folder to go away. Yes. Close. Next up we have Rustic Frostbite Spider Special Edition. This mod might trigger arachnophobia. If you suffer from arachnophobia, I suggest you skip it. Well, I do not suffer from arachnophobia, although I don't really like spiders. I am not afraid of them. Okay, looks good. Alright, no special instructions. Alright, next up we have Rustic Spriggan. Set data, looks good. Next up we have Troll. Oops. I almost missed it, but luckily I clicked on it by accident, so it's a happy accident. Optional file, the Rustic Spriggan effects. There we go. And it came from the same mod, so we do need to change the name. Set data. Okay. Alright, Troll. Install. By the way, that is one of the reasons that you want to download them in the same order that it shows on the guide if you're downloading them in batches, because a lot of times that will help you make sure you install them in the correct order. Right. Sabercat. Oh, this one actually has options. Let's see. We want both of them. Okay, install. And this one has options too. Alright, we want the skin, clutter, and a few sounds. Okay. Next up, Vampire Lord retexture. Set data. Looks good. Next up we have Wisp Mother. Again, with a faux mod that has options. Always good to see. We want the full version skin with a mesh fabric veil. Install. Next up we have Rally's Highland Cows and can't talk. Cows and Cowhide. Okay. Next up, Animal Companions and Mounts. I am running out of mods. That is a good thing. That means we're almost done with this section. First up we have Convenient Horses. Looks good. And no for extracting. Next up we have Realistic Horse Breeds by Krita Kitty. Manual. Looks good. And yes for extracting on this one. Okay. Next up, Bruma and other patches for convenient horses. Now for this one, make sure you have unchecked Beyond Skyrim Bruma in the faux mod. It is not checked, so we're good. And I can't actually see, I can kind of see which ones are done. We also want to make sure we have unchecked Beyond Reach, apparently. It's actually not listed in the faux mod on the picture, but okay. We definitely don't want Bruma though. We do want Falskar. We do want Grey Cowl Nocturnal. And we do want Worm's Tooth. It looks like the only ones that were checked. Install. Okay. And there were special instructions to delete the ESP and use a replacer. Delete. Yes. Now let's go to manual downloads. This is the one we want, so I will cut. Mods, and this is going to Bruma. Paste. Close that. You can see it's back, so close that. Alright. Moving on, we have Elder Scrolls Rewritten RVAC. Has a faux mod. Let's see. We want extreme definition. We want soul cairn, and that's it. Install. Next up, we have Diverse Dragons Collection. Looks good. No for extracting. We have Splendor Dragon Variants. Looks good. Next up, we have Deadly Dragons with 2 faux mods. We want the regular version. No for extracting on that. The second faux mod is for the patches. We want Diverse Dragons Collection and Splendor Dragons. And we want Worm's Tooth. And that is all we want, so install. Oop, we have to rename this one. My bad for not noticing that before. Next up, we have Skyrim Immersive Creatures Special Edition. Okay, again, I seem to have downloaded it out of order, so let's go to that. Has a faux mod. Easy to read though, so we're good. Install. And no for extracting. Go to file tree, and we want to delete the ESP. Close. And we're going to install the Skyrim Immersive Creatures official patch central. Set data. And this is why we deleted the ESP, because there's a replacer in this patch. So next up we have the SIC and ICH patch. Change the name since they came from the same place. Okay. Activate all of those. Then we have the SIC NIMI patch. Which came from one of the Lexy patch hubs. So we want that name, manual, set data, and OK. Next up we have Obus, Organized Bandits in Skyrim, Special Edition. Looks good. No for extracting. And we want the optional file. Change the name. Looks good. And no for extracting there too. Alright. And that is all the files I downloaded. So we have finished page 2. We should move on to page 3 in the next episode. Thank you for joining me.